You have Galaxy Quest. Love Galaxy Quest. I'm not even a big Star Trek guy, and I love Galaxy Quest. I think this is better. I think this movie would be amazing if it was made today, but there's just something beautiful about like before Comic-Cons really blew up. Oh, you got the Goosebumps TV show on VHS. I was a huge Goosebumps fan growing up, and the girl with the haunted mask. That's a good one. Puts on a mask. Look at that. Look at that beautiful art, dude. It's a shame that a lawsuit brought this empire down. But at least we have wonderful Hulu original series. I'm taking this. I'm gonna bring this to an island, even though this is not canon to the series. I do admire their movie suits. They're fucking awesome. What's up, guys? I'm Ryan. I'm an actor. I'm a director. I'm a writer. I'm your favorite racially ambiguous actor. And welcome to the Film Stock Podcast.
I always think about what James Cameron said, where he's like, write something, get a camera, put your name on it, you're a director. And you have complete license to go around calling yourself a director. So it's like, you've done 3 short films, but you are a director. You are, a working artist. And they're really good short films, too.
Thank you.
Deeply personal. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
We had kind of touched on it a little last night, but I don't know if that's something you're willing to kind of get into, like where the inspiration for some of these things kind of came from, or like the production process.
So basically before 2020, I actually stopped acting for about 4 years, and I wasn't getting the roles that I wanted. I got a lot of supporting roles, and that was really nice and sweet, and I'm very thankful for those opportunities. But I wasn't getting anything I wanted, and unfortunately, a friend, a person very close to my life, passed away, and it just kind of broke me, and I took a break, and then one day, Gabby
Rossum,
she hits me up,
and
she goes, they're doing auditions for this movie coming up. You should go for it, and I said, I'm okay. Like, I haven't done it in a while. They're like, no, it's gonna be good. I thought it was a short film.
Okay.
And then it's a feature, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah.
This is too much. And even back then, like, you want to talk about imposter syndrome?
Tell me about it. I want to talk about it.
I go on set, and we have a wonderful actress named Delaney Payne, and a wonderful another actress named Katie. I would say her last name, but I'd butcher it. and they're both like professional actors. Like, Delaney's like straight out of like some New York school or something like that. Like, I'm like, yeah, like so how did you get this? And I'm like, I just auditioned. They're like, oh, cool. So you're playing her husband, and I'm like, how old are you?
How old were you?
At the time I was 28.
Oh, okay, so that's
Yeah, she was just turned 21.
Okay.
And I was like, this is weird.
Was it like a period piece? I'm thinking like I'm probably the odd man out here. I'm 32 and I'm not, married or anything.
Yeah,
but
neither am I.
I always forget that people get married.
Yeah, no. I am
quite
not
young.
I am not married, thankfully. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone who wants to get married. But
so you were playing husband, wife.
Yes.
Yep.
And I had to, it's ironic. I wasn't used to playing a love interest or anything like that. So, here I am like doing all these scenes with her. In the back of my head, I was like, did I really want this? Did I really want this? But yeah, so I did that film. And after that, I was like, I think I want to make my own film. That's really me. Because even in the film, I'm more of a comedic voice. And I don't find myself funny, like, at all.
No?
Like,
We've had quite a few laughs since you've been here.
I like conversations with people and stuff like that, but I don't find myself funny. And I was like, I want to write a short film that really feels personal and that is personal to an extent about generational trauma, and especially around the holidays, where I feel like a lot of people, it's hard to reach out to people during the holidays. I love my mom and I love my dad. They had me very young, so I grew up with my parents. But when I see my dad, it's more like a, what's up, dude? Like, how are you? It's not like a, hello, father. How are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, you know, that type of relationship, there's a lot of unspoken stuff there.
Sure.
And in the short, he, you know, it's about the anxiety of coming up to that phone call to make it.
Right around the Christmas season.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, like, there's small, subtle things that I don't think people realize. Like, in the beginning, I see Happy Holidays throughout the majority of it. And in the end, I say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I did notice that.
The character defaults back because he knows that's what the father would accept. Rather than saying, like, Happy Holidays. You know, some people don't feel comfortable saying that. I don't give a shit if people don't feel comfortable saying. I'll say it anyway.
Yeah.
But some people get like so. It's Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just happy, dude. Like there's other holidays around this time. But anyway, so yeah, like that's that short, and I premiered it at the Music Room with Gabby.
Where's the Music Room?
It was on the Cape.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, and the owner currently is like under investigation for like embezzlement or something right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the other location I premiered it at.
Yeah.
And a lot of people liked it. I was terrified. I had to present it. I never presented something in front of anybody.
But yet you act.
I know. It's funny. It's I know. I don't think of it like that though. You know, like doing theater and stuff like that growing up. I was just like, you look out and it's just dark. Yeah. You know, it's just dark. You know, the lights are so bright, you don't see anybody. So I get in front of this room and I'm just standing up there and they're like, oh, go present. I was like, oh, okay. So I go up there. I'm like, hi, everyone. I'm Ryan. This is my short film. All right. Well, thank you. And I just sat down and like at first, like before the lights came on, like people clapped, but it was like a pause. And I was like, okay, well, I'm glad I drove out to the Cape for this.
Yeah.
But people liked it.
It's also interesting because as an actor, you're reciting somebody else's words when you're doing a presentation. You know, gotta be yourself and come up with the words.
Yeah.
But okay, that was when it premiered.
Yes.
Okay.
So on the holidays, which is great.
Did people respond to it?
Yeah. They respond to it. They responded to it very well. And a lot of like, some people came up to me like crying. And at first I was like, oh no, what did I do? And they're like, no, like I don't have a good relationship with my son. And I'm like, hey man, like there's still time. You have tons of time to, that's the thing. People, we don't choose to like mend our relationships with others. Like, I feel like a lot of people just accept it as it is. You can go out and you can actively start that conversation and try to make things better in your life. It's not too late.
And was this short film, was it kind of a first step, or was this, do you think that you designed this film to start that conversation maybe with your own family or your own father?
So I never showed my dad the short film until 2 years later.
Oh, okay.
But
he saw it.
He did see it. I don't know how he felt about it, but it was the first time my father ever opened up to me. He sends me this text, and he's just like, hey, man, is that how you feel? And I'm like, you know, Dad, you know, you were young. I understand there's a lot of factors here. Like kids raising kids is not an easy thing. I don't blame it. You know, both sides demonized each other. And he's just like, you know, depression runs in our family. And I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, well, when I was like 14 and I told you I was depressed, you were like, suck it up. Things get better. But like now that he's like an adult, he could talk to me about it. But like, it is mental health issues run in my family a lot. And which is, you know, unfortunate because you come from a half Asian, you know, it's Thai and, you know, Laotian. And then on my dad's side, it's like a mixed, all this stuff like Italian and Irish and things that I promise you, if we did like a test, like a 23andMe, it'd be like 5% Irish, but they'd be like, we're Irish.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay. But,
clinging on to that.
Yeah. Like the Celtic crosses in the house and everything like that. Yeah. But yeah, so my mom's side, which is extremely reserved. Like I remember once talking to my grandmother and I was like, Grandma, why don't you ever say I love you? And she's like, you should already know that I love you.
Yeah.
And like, that's it. Like we never hugged or anything like that. And growing up, like I'm a very... my type of affection and stuff like that, like I love being close with people and stuff. I mean, like I don't like people like touching me and stuff all the time, but like I do, like, you know, like if you're laughing with me, like, you know, someone's holding on to me, And I'm like, oh, okay, it's kind of funny, but I'm short. So like, it's basically like, you're just like kind of bullying like a 12-year-old kid. Like that's height wise, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, like putting their arm on top of me and shit. Like that stuff, like, all right, guys, like I get it. Like I'm not gonna grow anymore. I gave up on that dream years ago. But but yeah, so both sides of the family, they have different dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have my mother's side. And I don't mean to make this all about like trauma dumping on your show.
No, of course. Yeah. But, you know, it informs kind of where this short came from. And I'm interested to see if anything came after that by way of, you know, the family. So you kind of got to talk to your father about it, though. Or
I did.
Briefly.
Yes. My grandparents are the one who actually came to the show. And they called him, they're like, you know, Little Ryan. They call him Little Ryan because I'm not Junior, but we have different middle names.
And Short.
And Short Ryan. Yeah, Short Ryan.
Okay.
He's not much, he's a little bit taller than me. But yeah, I'm always Little Ryan. So he's like, you know, Little Ryan like made this short film about you. You know, how did you feel about it? And he's like, I don't know. So he came to see Invisible.
Your second short.
Yes.
Yep.
And so many people think that story is not based on me. They think it's based on the girl in the film, which is a wonderful actress named Madison Schmallow. She's from Maine. And it's based on my life. So, but tons of times in interviews, people are like, God, Maddie, you do such a good job. Like, you're so brave for writing this story about yourself. And I don't say anything because I want to see like what she says during it. And I'll be sitting next to her and I'll be like, what are you going to say, Maddie? And then she'll be like, this is actually Ryan's story. I'm like, all right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he saw that movie and he was like, oh my God. Because my family didn't really know what I went to school for. They just assumed.
What did you go to school for?
I went to school, the School of Hard Knocks. I'm just kidding. No. No, I went to school for animation. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, and I hated it.
Okay.
Yeah. We had I went to UMass Dartmouth.
Was it animation aimed toward like filmmaking, or was it animation just like as a craft that you can apply anywhere?
I think that the goal was a lot of the graduates from the school at the time worked for Blue Sky Studios.
And where's that?
I don't really know the location, but they're the studio that made Ice Age.
Okay, so I should know Blue Sky Studio.
Yeah. But they eventually got bought by Disney.
Yep.
As everything will be.
Eventually.
And
actually, I heard they're taking out a lease on this property soon.
Is that right? Yeah. That'd be awesome. Yeah, the Film Stock Podcast presented by Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And I went to school there for longer, actually, because I messed up one semester, but 5.5 years.
Okay.
And it was awesome. And
the whole time sticking with animation.
Yes.
So you stuck it out.
I stuck it out out of fear for my family's rejection.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like junior year. I'll never forget this. I was sitting there and we were like rigging models. You have to build the skeleton within the thing you animate.
Yeah.
So as I'm rigging the skeleton and like there's a joint that's not working, like the fingers are cricking back or something, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. This is miserable. But like I remember going home and I was like, yeah, I'd be like totally crazy if like I just switched majors, right? And they're like, no, you're gonna finish this. And I was like, yeah, that was a dumb idea. Why would I ever say that?
You know what? You're right. I am gonna.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, you convinced me. So I stayed, and it was called digital media. It wasn't even called animation. The degree, and thankfully, the year after that, they stopped calling the degree digital media. So I used the degree as a way to apply for jobs in a very vague sense.
Sure.
So it'd be like, and I taught myself editing in film while I was in college as a hobby.
Oh, cool.
So I didn't even, like, that was a skill set that I built over those years for fun. And I said, I'm going to leave college. I'm going to get a job in film. And I'll use my vague degree to get me there. That didn't really happen. But
sure.
But
and on top of that, it's funny how little that degree actually matters when you're in the film industry.
Oh my God. It's hilarious.
I mean, you always put it on the resume, don't get me wrong, but it was like, at least for me, there was one resume that I ever sent. And from that point, it was just like word of mouth recommendation.
Yep, it's always that.
That's what it is. Who you know.
Yeah.
But okay, so you get the degree.
I get the degree.
Did you end up getting a job at Blue Sky?
No.
I'm
glad I didn't though, because the next movie they did that year was called Epic. and it was about like just to throw out there like the concept of this movie. I don't even remember too much of it, but like Kevin Hart's a snail as a side character, and that was enough for me. Like I was like, I don't want to join the studio.
You're out.
Yeah, I'm out. This is it. But yeah, I mean, I did not join Blue Sky. I had a lot of friends who left college and tried to work for like Blizzard and Activision, and then they merged, and then a lot of bigger gaming companies, because a lot of my friends want to do video games.
Sure.
And
did you have any interest in that?
Oh, I love video games. I would love to be probably like a story type, like crafting type person, but like at the same time, like I love voice acting. So like,
oh sure,
that's where I would that'd be my jam. Like if I could,
like voice acting in video games.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay,
so that's a dream. It's a pipe dream. I have a few friends who do it professionally, and they tell me that it's not as easy as it feels, because I have a really good friend named. Her name is Christina Costello. Mm-hmm. She was a local actress in New England. Now she voices characters on Genshin Impact.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, it's like a gotcha game, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm also like a cultural dinosaur. Like when it comes to TV shows and movies, I'm always like 10 movies, 10 years behind what everybody else is watching.
She does that. She's a voice on like Yu-Gi-Oh! And like...
That I get. I know Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, so she's voiced like some of the newer seasons and stuff like that. So she's very talented, and I always tell her, I'm like, I'm going to do it one day. I'm going to do it. And like, it's just all confidence. Really what it comes down to is confidence. If you don't have a way to be confident in your craft or your work or how you present yourself, unfortunately, it doesn't carry you far if you're like, I don't know. And that's the problem with me too. Like in general, like I'll be like, I'm part of the New Bedford Film Festival board, and sometimes I'm like, why am I here?
Why do you say that?
I don't feel like I belong here.
Do you have a love of films?
I do. I love film.
Do you love making them?
Yeah. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with that. The sometimes aspect of filmmaking.
Yeah. But, you have all these very talented people on the board. Mm-hmm. I don't know if do you know Alyssa Botello?
I do. She was on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a great conversation. Very talented.
Oh, God. She's like super professional and like stuff like that.
And she loves period piece movies.
Yeah.
She's like perfected the period piece movie.
Her and her friends like are awesome, and
they're all on the festival board with you.
Yeah.
Cool.
You got Claudia Nagala, Nick Doyle. You got, I think to an extent, her boyfriend Shawn Campbell, who's the camera director on her film Sweet Freedom. Yeah,
Shawn came to the studio with her. We got to meet him. He's a very nice guy.
I love him.
Very talented as well. So how long have you all been? How long has the festival been going for?
This would be our second year.
Okay.
It does not feel like that though. Like,
why? It feels like it's been going longer?
Yeah, because it's like a 3-day event, and there's a lot of planning that goes into it.
Okay.
And it's every single person on the board has a different specialty, which is kind of interesting. Like Alyssa does period pieces. Seth Chitwood and Mark Anthony, they're like a duo. They do a lot of like fantasy stuff and a lot of stuff for the LGBTQA community. I do a lot of like sad films. Ethan Diagier, the guy who founded it, he does a lot of documentaries and stuff like that, and he's extremely talented. But each person brought something different to the board. So when we actually met up and we started talking to each other, I'm sorry, one more shout out, Vincent DeSanti. Did you ever see the fan films Never Hike Alone?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, you gotta see them. But he's they're awesome Friday the 13th fan films.
Cool.
So Womp Stomp films. But yeah, horror guy, all these people come together and we're like, we're gonna start a film festival here. And we did, and it's it's a great festival. Like I've been watching a lot of films lately for the festival.
Like that have already been submitted?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like it's amazing. Like I don't know how much I'm supposed to say, but like there is some talent from Hollywood and stuff in these short films.
Oh, cool.
Which is like super weird. Like I'll be watching and I'll be like, really? Why'd you apply to this? But
because New Bedford's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
I told you yesterday, I have a very, very soft spot in my heart for New Bedford.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time there. We were filming a movie called The Finest Kind.
Yep.
And the people are great.
Mm-hmm.
The food, the bars,
Yeah.
like, you know, the whole fishing community.
It's big.
Yeah. The architecture, the way the whole place is laid out. I got nothing but high praise for New Bedford.
Yeah, dude. Come on down, man. It's if you've never, this is to anybody listening, if you've ever been to New Bedford, that's where Moby Dick was written and Frederick Douglass escaped there.
And the first woman millionaire, Hetty Robinson.
Yep.
I just read her biography. She was a hell of a character.
Yep. Holly Johnson. I think that's the name of it.
Polly Johnson.
Yeah, I think
that?
I think she's the lead, like not the character, but I think that's her name. Jeez, that's awful. Don't let Alyssa see this. She's the lead. She's the Sweet Freedom is based off of her life.
Oh, yes. Sorry. You had to catch me up to speed, but yes, she discussed that project. Yes, Polly Johnson.
She was, I think that's her name. I'm sorry, Alyssa. I love you. But she was the richest woman in the area and no one remembers her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like New Bedford was the richest city in the world at one point.
At one point.
At one point.
Yeah.
now look at it. No, it's kidding.
No.
But look at what it become. But yeah, so she really tries to pioneer those people who need voices.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate that.
And when does the New Bedford Film Festival, when is it going on?
I think
if you're looking at submissions, I'm guessing
they just closed.
They just closed. So is it like a summer ordeal?
It's like April.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
3 days.
Yep.
Do you have a venue or do you change venues year to year?
The first year we had it all around downtown because we wanted people to embrace walking around downtown and stuff like that, which is cool. But the problem is and because of me, I remember mentioning it the first year, there are some people who can't walk around downtown a lot because, it could be mobility or disability issues. A lot of, older people want to come support younger members of their family and things like that. So we're doing it in 2 locations. We're doing it at Gallery X, which is a beautiful old church in the Steeple Playhouse, which is also a church, ironically. And they're next to each other. So you don't have to move around. And we're working on getting workshops done in the larger area in the New Bedford Public Library in downtown New Bedford. So
cool.
It will have guests come and talk and stuff like that, different panels. So
nice.
I've been trying to push for a mental health panel, but I've also been pushing for a whale mascot suit for 2 years now, and I don't think I'm ever going to get that, but one day.
One day.
I just want to run around in the suit.
You would want to wear the suit?
I do, dude. I love that. I was a brand ambassador for 3 years. I dressed up as the Geico Gecko at events.
Did you really?
Yeah. I'm the shortest guy out of the whole group, so they're usually women do it because they're tiny. And I was I want to do it. And they're like, what? I'm I want to get in the suit. And I got in the suit and I just loved it. That was so funny, except you can't see it all.
No.
So you're just walking around and
hoping you don't bump into people or objects.
Taking out kids.
Yeah.
Sweeping their legs by accident with your giant tail. But yeah, so I would love to dress up as the whale. I don't know if they think it would be successful, but I think everyone loves a good mascot.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love a good mascot?
Yeah.
I especially love the ones that disappear and then flip themselves over and whatnot. Yeah. If you can do that, I would help vote in the whale mascot.
Thank you. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe.
So when you're doing all your movies, are you working solo? Are you working with a team? The first one especially, After the Beep, feels so intimate and personal. Mm-hmm. And forgive me, I didn't look at the credit list.
Yeah, no.
But I'm interested in how that was filmed.
Of course, yeah. After the Beep, I wrote it and I proofread the script and I was all right, I feel like this is gonna work. And I don't have a lighting kit. So I was all right, I gotta shoot this somehow. So I waited until the perfect hour that the light came into my apartment. And I was just alone for 5 hours. So I was all right, I'm gonna set my camera up. I have a Blackmagic 4K camera, and it's getting out a little outdated now, but it gives that gritty film type of look that I really enjoy. And I put the camera. I didn't even have a right tripod. I think I just taped the camera to a C stand and then put a backpack on the edge and the counterweighted it. And
whatever gets the job done,
exactly.
Right?
So I shot that, and I shot it a few times, and then there's a shot of me in the bathroom. Like that's also just like I just picked up everything, just moved it over. And then later that week, I submitted it to Gabby. So like I shot it in one day, edited it in one day by myself, and then I was like, all right, Gabby, you can do whatever you want with this. I hope you like it.
And what did she end up doing with it? Like, did she go in and like do anything to the edit or sound design or anything?
No,
or?
she just approved it. She was like, this is beautiful.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I want to present this. I'm like, oh, sick. So, but no, I do everything. That first film, I did everything by myself. Like the credits for that first thing, I literally could have just put, I mean, I did just put Ryan Nunes, and then I just kind of rolls, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Most of the time before Beautiful Day, the newest film, I only worked with like 2 other people.
Oh, okay.
So like in Invisible, when I did that film,
yep,
we were just illegally like running around everywhere. And it was just me, my best friend from college, and platonic soulmate, Nathaniel Kelly. He's never even held a boom pole. And I was like, can you help me out, dude? And he was like, sure. So he got the Tascam DR40 in a boom pole. We were just running around New Bedford and Maine, and he was just holding it up, and I'm just like pulling out the camera, the shoulder rig. And I'm like, all right, Maddie, you gotta look sad. And then she'd be like, okay. But it was just me, Nate. One day it was my buddy Ted Omo. Do you know him?
I don't think so.
Dude, you gotta check out this short film called Turkey Lover.
Turkey Lover.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Wait, Turkey Lover. No, I'm thinking of the Banana Movie. That's Sam Cohen.
Yes, and that's a great film too. But
same genre?
Yeah. Well, I will say Turkey Lover is more like Tim Robinson.
Okay.
And Matt Leak. He's a sound guy, but he also helped make it. So yeah. Ted was there, and he helped do some lights one day, but mostly is like I kept every crew to like 3 people because like I didn't want to get anxiety or bring a bunch of people in and it'd be like, you know, Ryan, union rules, you know, things like that. And I'd be like, okay, like I don't mind feeding you guys and taking breaks and stuff. I don't want to make a big deal out of this. Like I want to shoot this because I want to capture the emotion in that period. I feel like especially when you have actors who are coming in from out of state or they're not comfortable around a lot of people, I want to make it feel like you're in the moment with them or just like a friend who kind of stands next to them. And Maddie, you know, there's a scene where she's like staring off and you can see the skyline of New Bedford. And that's at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I woke
Was that when she was at the bench?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a beautiful shot. And I was just like, you know, Maddie, like put yourself in these shoes. Like you do this every morning to try to clear your head and find some peace when your life is very hectic and very heavy. So she killed in that role. So
yeah, she was very, very lovely in that role.
Yeah. But yeah, mostly just for the longest time, just me and Nate and whoever. And it's kind of hard to like talk to people. Be like, yeah, do you want to come work on a thing? They're like, yeah, dude, you got like a script supervisor, an AC, you got like, and I'm like, I don't know what those are.
I don't have any of that.
Yeah, don't ever say that to me again.
Well, I think that's the beauty of this industry is, it's complicated because there is technically a right way to do it.
Yeah.
But really, when you get down to it, there's not.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about the filmmaking process is you got to make it work for you and make it so that you're engaged in it in a way that can translate to the final edit.
Yep. Chris Salvi is the reason why I love him so much.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck.
Exactly.
He just wants to make what's in his head come to life.
Exactly.
He doesn't care how he's going to do it.
That's how it should be. I think people like technical film guys are like the horse girls of the film industry.
What does that mean?
That just means we're standing there minding our own business. And then he's like, yeah, got the red Snapdragon 5. It's a pretty sick camera. I'm going to switch to the 55 millimeter lens. And I'm just like, all right, man. Which one's the good one? Like, which one's the one? Like, I liked this one. And he's like, yeah, but like that won't work. Like obviously like they know their stuff and that's great. But then sometimes like, I don't need to switch to like 15 different lenses to get the shot that I want. I feel like a lot of people focus so much on technical stuff that it doesn't make you want to work on film. Like, I think the best part about art school and just like in general in film school, everyone's like, oh, I miss doing student films. And then you ask yourself why? And it's because that's when you had the freedom. That's when it was fun to work with people. When you're on a set and, you know, Davey from Westport, Massachusetts is like hitting his vape for the 15th time, talking about his problems to you, and you're just some random actor or something like that. Like Davey doesn't want to be here. I know he doesn't. He just took it for the money. And that's fine. I get it. You know, like I'm here for the bag, I guess you could say. But at the same time, like if you want to make a film, like the right people will show up. And it doesn't have to be technical. Like you can feel that energy on set when you're having fun. That's the best part. Like when you're working with your friends. And I feel like a lot of people lose that.
It's easy to lose it, you know, for the filmmaking process. It's, you know, very heavily, it's you have to have a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, generally you have to have
it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, it's a very expensive hobby. It's very expensive art. So it can be easy to kind of get jaded.
Oh yeah.
But as somebody, I enjoy the technical side of filmmaking, but I'm not good at the technical side. So like,
I agree.
Like for example, like you brought up lens choices. Like I know what certain lenses are gonna do
exactly
to the image and what effect that can have. And I kind of pride myself on being able to talk with a director of photography about the effects that I want to achieve. Mm-hmm. And I know that they can then translate it to, okay, well, he needs this lens. We need to be at this aperture, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I know what you're saying. And I think what maybe is behind that, again, is going back to the director, the producer, the artist who is creating their story. I think it's really about curating the people on your set who bring and understand the energy that you're trying to go for and bring that same energy to the project. Was that fair to say?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. If I, for example, on A Beautiful Day, I brought in Dan Goldsmith and Ethan Diaguiar, and I needed 2 cameras on us. And I typically do all my work handheld, and I don't like being on sticks.
No, why is that?
I just think it looks like a student film.
On sticks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it just looks too stable, and I don't think that's what life looks like. I think that the best part about film is like you're seeing an experience through another eye that's there. And I think when it's on sticks and it's like over the shoulder, wide shot, I'm like, this is cool, but this did not catch me immediately.
Okay.
So like a lot of, like, that's why I was telling you, like a lot of filmmakers, like on our phone call, like Shawn Baker, like The Florida Project, Red Rocket. I love those types of films where we really get in personal with these characters because that's film to me.
Sure. Something a little bit more raw.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time, like, I love my third short film, A Beautiful Day, but then sometimes I'll take a step back and be like, man, I wish it did it handheld. Wish it did it all handheld. But the problem was we wanted to take things out digitally in the background.
To get the period appropriate.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was like, the shots that go to Danya, which is the blonde actress, wonderful person.
The daughter.
Yep. Danya, the daughter. And Jen Drummond.
Yep. I know the name.
Yeah, Jen's
I don't know
awesome.
if I know Jen personally or if I've worked on a set with her, but I recognized the name.
Jen is a powerhouse. I love her. And she, on her side, you don't see anything modern. But on Danya's side, you see modern cars. And that's done purposely. And there's a wide shot that we took out some cars in the background. And because they were just so distracting. Like people like clicking car alarms, people carrying boom boxes like it was the 80s. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, all that, you know, that makes sense for sticks for me. Or like on a green screen or something like that. Because like I know that editing portion. Like that's hell.
Yeah, it would be a nightmare to try and remove
like roto. I'm like, stop moving. I didn't put any tracking dots down. Yeah. But yeah.
I also think, if I may, I think that on an artistic level, there's something stronger. I know, like practically, you sacrificed it being on sticks for the background effects. But I thought there was something nice about it being on sticks and just so still. It felt very meditative. You know, it's obviously all a conversation and takes different dips and turns, what's going on internally with these characters. But I thought it was smart. It was a wise choice to just let the actors do their thing and not be distracted at all by whatever the camera's doing. Like, you don't even have any push-ins. You don't have any weird, like, Dutch angles, nothing like that. Not that it needed it, but simply letting the actors do their thing.
I never want to distract the actor too much. As a person who has been on both sides of the camera, not that it matters, like when a camera pushes in or there's like a track or something like that, but I want you to completely be in that moment. Like if we shot something like right now, like here, and this was like a short film.
We are shooting something right
now.
We
are. What the fuck? Yeah. Where am I? But, we're sitting here and stuff. Like, I love the idea of just, you can see it all. It's like the same concept of like a fight scene, like a good fight scene. Like before Taken with Liam Neeson, fight scenes were like wide. You could see everything. And then like you got
Liam. And now John Wick is bringing it back.
Yes.
Has brought it back.
Yes. So now it's not like, sorry.
Yeah, like quick cuts, like so disorienting.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up.
Yep.
So, but yeah, like, so like that's how I feel about filmmaking. Like I love
kind of a presentational format. Yeah.
And a lot of the cinematography for A Beautiful Day was actually based off of Past Lives.
Past Lives, I know that title.
It's an A24 film.
Yep.
And it's about, a what if like relationship. Like, do you think like 20 years ago, the girl that you were friends with, like if you said something, like things would have changed. And it's about coming to the realization that it doesn't matter if things would have changed. Life ended up that way and that's okay.
Sure.
But that type of cinematography, those angles, like when I gave it to Ethan and Dan, I was like, I want it like this. And I knew that would be a lot of stick on sticks. And there's one shot that I love that Ethan, I think it was Dan. No, it's Ethan. Both of you did it. I'm sorry. It's Jen, and she like looks over when Danya's talking to her, and you can just, there's just a weight to that shot where Jen just kind of peers over, and her character is starting to realize, oh shit, like something's up. And with her Alzheimer's, like it's starting to realize that something's there.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, like that's my only gripe. I think they did a wonderful job. Coloring is beautiful. Dan did a wonderful job. He's also a colorist and editor. They both are. So I'm colorblind.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am. I don't see race. No, but no, I am colorblind and it's awful. And when I color films, it's hard.
How do you color films?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I stare at the screen and I say, this doesn't look right. Something's wrong here. And I'll tweak things. But Invisible is very blue, like very cold.
Yeah.
And that was done intentionally. But at first it wasn't. Like everything was just blue.
And you did the color for it.
Yeah, I did the coloring for it. So like at first I was staring at it. I was like, everyone just looks really pale. I don't know why. And then the more I tweaked it, I realized I really like this. This is how it's going to be. And then I did it. The rest of the film was just, she's cold. And it made Paul Kandandrian.
Yep.
It made his skin look like a different type of, it was like a bluish green. And I obviously send it to friends and I'm like, what do you think about this? But most of my friends, they don't know I'm colorblind. And I don't tell a lot of people that because I don't want people to judge me. I want people to know, like I want people to just take it as it is.
Sure.
And be like, oh, it's an artistic choice. Yeah, sure. Like that's, yeah. So, it was hard, but I did it, and it was a lot of paying attention and stuff like that. I actually, the cut that you seen, that short film, I edited that in one night. I started at 3 a.m. and I already did 3 cuts of the film, and I hated them. And I said, "This, what's wrong? Like, why am I not liking this?" And I realized we needed to hook the viewer instantly, and opening up to Maddie. Just in this, alone in the shot, talking about how much pain she's in and living. I was like, this is it. This is how this should open up. That's actually shot in a library in Maine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I digitally changed a lot of the stuff to make it look like a church, like a little like Christian undertones.
Yeah,
not that Not that I believe in that, but it was good to kind of like, this is like her AA group type deal. So yeah, I mean.
So how was it before? So you said you had like 3 cuts and then you went back in at like 3 a.m. Was it like that opening monologue which you're describing, that opening shot? That was at the end.
That was at the end.
Okay.
So the original cut of Invisible was actually like a dark comedy.
Okay.
So it starts off and it'll be like, hello, welcome to so-and-so. Like, it'd be like she's getting like reports to deliver packages. And they'd be like, you'll like, welcome to the Icarus family, because that's the name of the fictional company that I never talked about. But, delivering packages. It's like, your vacation days have been cut short. Like, it's just a lot of depressing, ironic things.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, this is not how I want this. And then I tried it again, but it opened up on her jogging and the shot in New Bedford, which, to be fair, I did like that. And then there was a third version where we dove more into Paul's character, and he was just so cynical. Like, it's hilarious. Like, if you watch the film, he talks and it's like, because he's like zoning out. But in the original cut, he's just so like, kids don't want to work these days. No one wants to work these days. And I kept working with Paul, and I just liked him as a person. And I said, I can't make you cynical. You're like too cool. Like,
you've got to be the moral heartbeat of the story and kind of lift it up.
Yeah, and I felt bad because I don't want people to think Paul's like this. I know he's an actor, but I don't want him to people to meet Paul and you're like, you're that asshole guy. I know you.
Yeah.
So I went back and I wrote it so he was like the voice of reason. And at the time I worked with a lot of coworkers who were older than me, and I was just so miserable because a lot of the experiences in Invisible are based off my real life. I was working a very heavy job where I lifted a lot of things, and it didn't matter how many times I told people I have issues. When you're in a job like that, no one really gives a shit because you all have issues. You all have pain. But I always felt so invalidated because it's invisible. You see me, you don't think I have issues. I have like 3 discs that are messed up, scoliosis, hip issues.
Jeez.
You can't breathe all the time. And just a lot of pain. Like, I wake up and I'm just in a lot of pain. And that's really where Invisible came from. So one of my coworkers, gave me a piece of advice, and it's like, things do get better. And they can get better. And the original ending to Invisible was not that. It was going to be that speech. And then after that speech, there's a scene where it goes, wait till you get to my age, kid. And like, that just shows like, no matter what happens, you'd be invalidated no matter what in life. And I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I wrote that. And I was like, no, Paul will not be, his reputation will not be tarnished. I will change the ending. And I did.
Yeah.
And it's kind of left in a way to kind of see what will happen with these characters, because these all take place in the same universe.
Okay.
So Jake from After the Beep calls out, and that's why Riley, which is Maddie's character, is delivering with Paul, because he usually does the route with him. And that's why Paul's not in a majority of the film, because Jake called out. So he's like kind of taking, like, they're kind of like spreading themselves thin.
Wait. Catch me up to speed here. I think I missed a beat.
Right.
So your character in After the Beep.
Yep.
And the 2 characters in Invisible, they're all in the same universe.
Yes.
They all work at the same job? Gotcha. And your character, Jake, he's not in Invisible because he called out of work?
There's a quick scene where Maddie's listening to all her phone calls.
Yeah.
And if you listen closely, there's one from Jake, and he goes, hey, Riley, I'm not coming into work today. And then she hangs up.
Yeah.
That's Jake.
Okay.
And then originally, Maddie and Paul were supposed to show up in A Beautiful Day. So right when it goes back to reality, it was going to be them walking by.
Okay.
To kind of solidify the universe. But Paul couldn't come down, and Maddie was in Maine at the time. So it was like a lot. But Danya's character will be in my next short film.
And is Danya a part of she's a part of the other 2 universes?
Yes. The set that we call it the Kinoverse, because that's the name of the Kino films.
Okay.
Film. But I like to call it the sad universe.
Yeah.
So, but she'll be in the next film as a supporting character.
Okay.
So it solidifies, like, she talks about her sister in A Beautiful Day.
Yep.
And that sister character will be in the next film as the lead.
Okay.
So that's really random, but
no, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure that I understood correctly.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the next film?
Yeah, it's called Drowned. It's it's called A Shitty Life. No, it's called Drowned, and it's about inattentive ADHD.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you know, there's different types of ADHD, but the most common one that everyone thinks about is like little boys or their little fidget spinners and things like that.
Okay.
This is the ADHD no one likes, which is the one where you're like super, not lazy, but lethargic and you can't get anything done. Like, I have a hybrid myself where it's like I have both of that, but my mom growing up had this and it like ruined her life. Like every job that she was at wasn't because she was lazy or something. She like just had severe depression and ADHD. Like, she'd leave something on the stove and then walk away, and I'd be like, "Mom, what the fuck, dude? What's going on here?" She's like, "Oh, Ryan, I'm sorry, I forgot that." And I'd be like, "We're gonna die one day." But in the reality, like, through all that resentment of like her not cleaning the house a lot and stuff growing up, it made me realize like mental health issues are a real thing that affect people's lives.
100%.
Yeah, and it's based loosely around my childhood because it's about a single mom, and she loses custody of her kid, and you see both sides. You see it from the father's side, where it's not completely demonizing her. Like, he still loves her and cares about her, but he's like, "I'm doing this for us. Like, I'm doing this for our kid. I'm not doing this as an attack towards you, but you need to understand that, like, you need to do better. You need to get help." And a lot of people won't get help. They won't accept that they need medication or therapy. Even therapy, that's just talking to someone. People need that. And I wish my mom went to a therapist at a young age because my life would be a lot different. But, you know, that type of film, like, I'm really excited to shoot it. We're kind of gearing up right now. We're probably going to do a small crowdfunding campaign because I want to pay everybody. If I can't pay you, I won't hire you because that's not fair to you. And I'll just suck it up and shoot it myself, which I feel bad, but I want you to know your worth.
Sure.
In every project.
Yeah, of course.
Every single actor or actress that has been a part of my projects, they're all wonderful people, and my goal is to highlight them in every single way to make people see their worth.
Do you pay them all?
Maddie did not pay for it, but we spent money on like a week, like an Airbnb, and that was the deal.
Yeah.
And I paid her gas.
Kind of put her up, make sure she's comfortable.
Yep. Paid for food, things like that. Paid for food. Beautiful Day was for charity. I know I want to pay everybody. These all just sound like scapegoats, right? Yeah. Did you pay yourself for After the Beep? Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah. No, but
actually, yeah. If you can go into the charity aspect of this. We were talking about this last night. That was pretty interesting to me. So Beautiful Day came about
because of charity. So I was just kind of like minding my own business, and then Colin, I don't know how to say his last name. Rosenbaum? Rosenbaum? No, I don't know the guy.
Possibly. I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, you don't know Colin. Okay.
I don't think so.
So Colin and Marco, guys, I'm awful with last names. You're just first name people to me, and I love you. Colin and Marco were creating a charity, and like a charity showing, like all the proceeds from it went towards a group that stopped child trafficking. And at first I was like, what a cool idea for a film thing. But Marco and Colin both do a lot of like serious stuff and horror stuff.
Okay.
So when I pitched the idea, I was like, it's about Alzheimer's. It's about something that, you know, runs a lot on my mom's side of the family. And they were like, oh, that's great. That's great, man. That's awesome. And, you know, I said, I got to get it done by this time. We had people who are raising money who got like $10,000 projects off the ground. I barely raised like $3,000. And most of it went towards like production and buying food for everybody. And then just making sure everyone, like I paid several crew members and several of the cast members, but a lot of them wanted to do it for free because they really believed in the project.
And the idea was to make
a film, all the money from the showcase would go to, or any money left from crowdfunding too.
Yeah,
I would donate. Any money that we raised at the premiere would go straight to charity. Nobody pocketed anything.
And where did it end up premiering? And was it premiering with like a bunch of other films?
Yes.
Like the same idea?
Yeah. It premiered in Providence.
Oh, cool.
At the Avon Theater. Yep. Yeah. And
how long ago was this?
Probably a few months back now.
Nice.
It was a wonderful premiere, and it was sweet. I made a few friends there, very talented people, and I think mine was definitely the most brightly colored film there.
Brightly colored?
Yeah.
Like, are you talking literally like the image?
Everybody just did like horror music videos and things like that. So like when mine came on screen, I was like, oh no, I don't know if this is the right crowd of people who like this.
Sure.
But some of them liked it.
Yep.
I caught two people laughing and I didn't know how to feel on the inside, but I said, you know what? I'd laugh too deep down. So I'm laughing now at myself for being here.
I mean, to give you high praise, I didn't see the ending coming.
You didn't see the ending coming?
I probably should have, but I didn't.
Okay, that's good.
And when, not to give anything away, but there's a distinct jump cut that you make.
Yes.
And when you made it, I didn't need any more words. I was like, damn. That was I feel that. That was nice. Because like it's a long conversation.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, there's got to be a point, right?
Yes.
Like, the actors are doing well.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue's good.
Mm-hmm.
But there's got to be a point.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden this jump cut happens and I'm like, nailed it.
How did you like the audio?
The audio, I wasn't distracted.
Good.
And now that you're saying it, and this isn't meant to sound like flippant or anything, but I didn't notice it.
Good.
So
good.
I feel like that's a good thing.
Yes, we filmed in a public park where this is the year the cicadas come out and mate.
Awesome.
And I was
great for sound.
Yeah, wonderful. And it was cars. We were filming illegally.
Yep. Where'd you film it?
I filmed in New Bedford at Common Klasky Park.
Yep.
And
that's like in kind of a middle of a neighborhood. I know that park.
That's the neighborhood. Yeah. So people are playing basketball. People are walking through the shots in the background. People are stopping, whipping out their phones. One of my friends published a story. Seth Chitwood published a story in the local paper about it, which then caused some people to come by and record and keep driving by.
Okay.
And then
why did he do that?
I don't know.
Was the idea to like
promote it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's a great guy, and he was doing what he thought was best, and
brought all the fans.
Yeah, and brought some people by. But everything was going pretty good. But every time there was a distraction, it was like random. Like some guy just pulled up and played with puppies.
Yep.
Like right next to us, and I was like, what do I do about this? Like, I like puppies, but I feel bad. And then we just told them to leave, and they were like, okay. And they drove away, and the next thing you know, some dudes in the background like listened to like a Bluetooth boombox, and I'm like, this is awful. So
it's been my experience that most people are just like peripherally curious.
Yeah.
And if you're able to just kindly tell them what it is you're doing and explain why they can't be where they are, most of the time they're gonna fuck off.
There was a guy doing yard work like way up the street, and we got Jen and Danya to walk over there in costumes, and they asked him to stop, and he was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course.
So like, yeah, they were like totally cool with it, but like every single, like that's probably the first time ever filming something where I realized I think I'm just gonna write everything on the inside now.
Oh no, that comes with its own set of difficulties as well.
The fridge, the clocks.
You don't want to, I know people always say, put yourself into a box and write yourself out of it. But there, you don't always need to be inside.
Yeah.
I think some good pre-production and scouting.
Yes.
That's really all you need.
Yes, and that was the perfect part. We were gonna film in Buttonwood Park. I don't know if you know that park.
I don't know if I know Buttonwood. Is that the big one, like before the bridge to Fairhaven?
That's I know that park. Yeah, that's a beautiful park.
That's a beautiful park.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I would have filmed over there, but a lot of cops are over.
That makes sense. Actually,
so no one really goes near Common Klasky that's a cop, and if they do, they just kind of zoom by.
Yeah.
So, but the woman whose family made the park of Common Kalaski, like who it's dedicated to,
Mm-hmm.
she came by.
Oh,
like
really?
This is like the granddaughter of her, like the great granddaughter or something. And she's like, "Hi, how are you?"
Was she nice?
Yeah, she was super cool. She's like, "I just wanted to come see what you're doing." And I was like, "Oh, well, we're wrapping up, but I hope I do, I hope I make your family proud."
Yeah.
And she was like, "You filming here makes me proud." And I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." And she was super cool.
Yeah.
And it was such a sweet moment. Alyssa Batello, originally, she's the producer on it. She walked by the camera and we were going to do the jump cut, but she walked by so fast every time we did it. And that's why I cut it the way I did. But there is a cut somewhere where Alyssa goes like so fast. I'm like, stop walking so fast, Alyssa.
So you guys just filmed it for one day?
Yeah, one day shoot.
See, that's pretty cool because the lighting is pretty consistent throughout. You got some nice consistency there. Was it a cloudy day?
It was actually it was actually a beautiful day. But Dan Goldsmith, the guy who was there, the camera operator, he brought one of his flags.
Yep.
And he blocked out the sun and he tried to keep it as consistent as possible.
He did a good job. That's definitely something I notice.
Killed it.
Whenever I'm watching something, I keep track of the light. I keep track of what, the cinematographer and the gaffer are up to.
Yep.
And then later the colorist.
Yep.
But I'm kind of an asshole when it comes to those things.
I mean, like, Dan did such a good job. I was so happy we brought him on. And he bought that for that production.
Oh, cool.
He's like, "I want to try it out on this. I'm going to use it again." And I said, "Okay." And he sets it up. And you barely can tell it's there.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. Like, that was the first short I ever worked with a crew, like a big crew.
How was that experience?
Cool. When actually everybody, like, listens and stuff. Like, I was scared that everyone would just be talking and not doing their jobs. But everyone did a phenomenal job. Not many people ate. Like, I brought, like, a bunch of crafty. And no one, like, ate it, really. So I donated it after we were done. Like, anything that wasn't, because I don't see the point of, I don't want like 5 cases of like seltzer water in my apartment. So I donated it to a local school.
Was it like a full 10, 12-hour day or?
Yeah. Yeah. We ate lunch. I gave them, they would tell me what they needed from me and I would just take the budget and then I'd be like, "All right, just, I'll buy this for you. Give me a list of things." And I tried to make them as comfortable as possible.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the name of the game.
Yeah. They deserve to. They're taking time out of their day to come to your set and help you create your vision. And, you got to make sure that they're comfortable.
So is this like the first, sorry to cut you off,
No,
but I'm just kind of putting this together right now. Is this kind of like the first project you've ever worked on with like, maybe not even like your own personal projects, but is this one of the only projects you've worked with like a crew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like, as an actor, obviously there's crew around me at that time.
Yeah.
But like, this was the first project ever where everyone had to, we had to communicate. We had like walkie-talkies and stuff like that. And I don't know any of the lingo, so I'd be like, "Alyssa, get over here." Or like, "Nick, come on, we need help, dude." But everyone was so professional. And it was just, the only stress that we had was audio.
Yeah, that's always a difficult situation. Yeah. No, I guess the only reason I'm asking it for clarification's sake, because like I know so many filmmakers here and like in the New England area, all different kinds of technicians and crafts represented. Yeah. And I think that the New England film community is some of the like most kind and professional people working. I mean, I've never been to California. I've never been to Texas for filming or anything like that. My whole base is here in New England, but goddamn, they'll show up, they'll do everything. They take their craft very seriously. Yeah. So I'm glad that you had that good experience.
Absolutely. And I'd love to bring them all back for the next one or, as much as I can. I mean, Jen, the only thing is a lot of it that's in the same universe, I write it in a way that I can consistently bring back people.
Sure.
So that like,
that's smart.
Yeah. Like I want to, like Danya, for example, like her character in Invisible Day, Jesus, A Beautiful Day. She, like, her character is mostly exposition. And I wanted, and unfortunately, like when you write certain stories, like there are some people that kind of falls to. But I wanted to make sure that when I wrote Drowned, she has like a moment to showcase her acting because she deserves that.
Yeah.
So even if I don't show someone in one short, they will get their chance in another one. And you know, that's I do it to highlight my friends.
Now, I like to ask this of all of our guests. Sometimes I forget, but it's just occurring to me.
Go ahead.
Do you, in regards to takes,
Yes.
are you Clint Eastwood or are you David Fincher? Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
I would probably say Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be.
Just kind of like, you know, one or two and, you know, I know I got it. We can move on.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I am a stickler for, which is really weird, is pacing. So like
it's a good thing to be a stickler for.
Yeah, like I think that like dialogue in real life, you have to breathe when you talk. So like if you're just like, I hate watching short films that people are like, "Hey, bro, how are you?" Not those type of short films. But,
yeah.
but like, you know, things like you know, like, "Oh man, it's been so hard since dad died."
Yeah, you want it to be realistic.
Yeah,
you want it to work with the story and the tone that you're trying to set.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like when I do the pacing, I'll tell the actors beforehand, like, give yourself time. Like, don't rush through this.
Do you rehearse with them prior to cameras rolling? And I don't even just mean on set. I mean, like, do you guys get together, go over the script, go over, you know, intention and all that?
I try to do a lot of like Zoom calls and things like that because like most of the time, like so many of my friends are busy. I actually tell people to show up to set a little bit earlier, not even just to go over blocking for scenes and stuff, but just to kind of explain like the vibe that I'm going for. And I'll send them like movies and clips of monologues to kind of get that type of pacing down. And most of the time I have struck very lucky with the people that I've worked with.
Good.
Like the whole monologue for Invisible is based off of like the pacing of that from the show The Bear.
Yep.
So I said, you know, I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to look off. I don't care how long the camera runs. I just want you to feel comfortable going to the next line.
Definitely.
And I think some people just, they think so, they're like, oh, we got to move on to the next shot. We got to do this. And I'm like, breathe. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you want good performances, give them a good environment.
It's true. I love David Fincher so much. I'm particularly obsessed with him because I think he's one of the most accessible filmmakers to young filmmakers. And what I mean by that is like every movie he does, there's like an extensive behind the scenes where, you know, he's talking about the process and you get to see the process.
Yeah.
And one of the things he said in one of his interviews is something to the effect of, you know, we spend X amount of money on the location.
Yes.
We spend X amount of money dressing it.
Yeah.
We rented the cameras. We got the trucks. We got the crew here. We got craft service generators. Now we bring the actors on, and you're telling me you want to get them on and off the camera as soon as possible? It's like, no, give them the time to find the performance.
Yeah.
Give them the time to feel comfortable on set. If they ask for another take, you always give it to them.
Yep.
And that sounds like kind of the energy you're talking about on your set is always making it comfortable for the actor.
Yeah. I mean, think of it like this. So many films in New England are unpaid or non-union. So what ends up happening is a lot of these minor productions, like I've been on both ends. Like I've been paid for stuff, I've been not paid. But if I'm driving from Massachusetts to Maine, and that's a 5-hour drive there, well, probably 10 hours technically, like if I'm going to North, or, you know, 3 hours, 6 hours, whatever. And you don't give me any time to just take a breather. I hold, I'm going to hold it in internally. I won't tell you because I'm going to try my best to do the role.
Because you got to be professional. You showed up to do the job.
Yes. And I agreed to do it. I read the script already. I agreed it months in advance.
Yep.
You know, I am, unfortunately, I have agreed to certain projects that didn't go anywhere, got off the ground, never got footage for.
Yep.
And they're in different states and stuff like that. But I did it because I wanted to learn stuff. But like, there are some times where like some people have this old school mentality where it's just go, go, go. Because I understand it's probably down the street for them, but it was like 6 hours away from me, man.
Yeah.
Like just give us a break.
Yeah, you always got to be respectful of the people who are donating their time. That, you know, especially if they're not getting paid.
Exactly.
Be thoughtful towards that.
Yeah.
And that's how you get people to keep coming back for, you know, other projects.
Give people consistent income and give them a good experience. Give them footage.
Yeah.
Give them the footage. Like Invisible and Beautiful Day, we tried to edit that within... Invisible, I edited within 2 weeks. And then Beautiful Day, that was a time limit. So we edited that in 2 or 3... I think it was 2 weeks, too. But the second it was finalized, sent it to the actors.
Good.
I don't care where you post it. I don't care how you post it. Just if it highlights you, if it benefits you, I did my job.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're using that in your reel, that's like a huge compliment to me. So I want you to get something from these projects. Nothing is worse than going to a short and then like they chop like 80% of your scene. And then I'm like, well, that was cool. I'll see you later. And I just like most of my projects aren't even listed on IMDb or anything like that. So
you said they're not?
They're not.
Why is that?
Like not me, but like projects I've acted in.
Oh, okay.
Like they never submitted them to IMDb, or I'm not even like, no one knows who I am. I'm not saying that people should know, but like they don't know me because of this project and I never got footage. So it's like I don't even exist in this little pocket of cinema. So mostly, and then like years later they'll like win like an award at like Slam Dance or something like that. I'm like, I worked with Brandon once. He was totally cool. They're like, all right, Ryan, that's cool.
Speaking of awards, have you sent any of these 3 films to festivals?
I have.
Yeah, how'd they do?
It depends on the festival, but yeah, they did. After the Beep won a lot.
They did.
Yeah, a lot. And it was a lot of like international festivals, like online festivals, and then like some local stuff. But it was really Invisible that really got more local stuff. Like I just took home an award from the Access Film Festival.
Okay.
Diana Porter.
I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar, even though Diana Porter sounds familiar.
She's awesome.
I don't know the Access Film Festival. He says local.
Yeah. So
okay.
I took home an award for like best drama or something
for Invisible.
Yeah.
Cool.
I also won an award in Maine at the Creative Guts Film Festival for like most vulnerable or creative guts type thing, and that was a surprise. That was weird. I've never been to this place before. I've been to Maine, but I've never like stayed there. Like mostly crossed through, and yeah, I stayed there, and like it's getting close to 11, and I'm looking at the people I come with. I'm like, yeah, we need to get the hell out of here, dude. Because like my film wasn't on the pamphlet.
Oh no!
And I thought that was so sad. I was like, well, that sucks. Like, I drove all the way out here, and then all of a sudden, like, I realized it's because I won an award. Like, I was gonna get the award, so it was like a surprise to me. I don't know why they didn't put me in the programming, but
yeah, that's not right.
But I got the award, and I was like, what is going on? I wanted to cry. It's like a golden VHS tape.
Oh, cool!
It was so awesome. But yeah, I'm trying to like. I've submitted my work to like Shawn, the Massachusetts ones. It's always funny because I feel like I just get beat out like every year, no matter what. So
it's competitive out there.
Yeah,
a lot of good filmmakers working.
Every year at the first festivals that I submit to are those.
Okay,
and I'm like, one day, you wait, one day I'll get like a honorable mention. So that's always been my goal, is those two, and I submitted them to like a few of them in Boston and stuff like that. So sometimes it will take a while for them to get back to me.
Yeah, of course it will.
So,
yep. And do you plan on filming? You said Drowned is going to be soon.
Hopefully.
Are you in pre-production for it?
Yes.
Awesome.
So the script is set. I'm talking to the guys about shooting it in New Bedford. We're trying to bring a lot of filmmaking to New Bedford.
Yeah.
We want to make it like a hub.
It's a great place to film.
And Alyssa is now part of the Fairhaven Film Tourism Board.
Okay.
Well, she's like the person you go to get permits.
Yep.
So we're using some spots in Fairhaven, and we're using a lot in New Bedford, and we just want people to come down here and show that it's easy to film with us.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this complicated process.
No, it's not. Again, having spent a lot of time there for the movie I was working on, New Bedford and Fairhaven are so easy to work with.
Yes.
A lot of great locations, a lot of diverse locations.
Yes, that's important.
And the people there, they're just awesome. No, if this podcast can help promote New Bedford in any way, I'm here for it.
We want to show people that it's a city that, like you said, it's very diverse.
Yep.
And, you know, you have parts of the city that feel very city-like, and you have parts of the city that feel very historical. And I'm not always completely fond of filming in the historical aspects because I want my films to feel very now. But at the same time, like, you can't deny that charm, man. Like those cobblestone streets and beautiful architecture. And so I want people to come to New Bedford and film more and make more friends, film friends, and we can all hang out and stuff.
Well, listen, if anybody wanted to find your work, learn more about you, or check out any of the shorts, where can we send them? Do you Instagram or website? Anything like that?
Instagram is It's Noon Somewhere. It's my handle. I have a YouTube channel, and no one goes to my YouTube channel. So if I do post the films there, I barely promote. Like, I don't tell anyone about them because they're at festivals, and that sometimes breaks rules.
Festival rules,
yeah. So like sometimes they're already there if you look close enough. But A Beautiful Day is the only one that's not up there.
Okay, cool.
But if there is I think it's called like Ryan Nunes channel. Like I tried to like get it before all the Ryan Nuneses were born.
Yeah.
The multiverse. But yeah, so
well, give us a link. Get us a link after this, and when we post this episode, we're gonna drive people to your, because you know they should see your work. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I mean, like, even if you take you taking the time. I know I'm on the podcast, but you taking the time to watch them, like that takes time, man. That's time out of your day. Yeah, but you get to experience someone else's vision. Yeah. You know, hopefully, you know, if it all goes well, you experience something emotionally. I did. Awesome. And it was really great getting to talk to you. I'm glad that you made the trip down here. I appreciate it. Yeah. And I love it here, man. Yeah. I could like live here. Like, it's a cool studio. Cute little, yeah, man. But thank you. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Ryan Nunes here. Check out his work. Thanks for being here, buddy. Catch you on the next one. Bye.